Hello, welcome everyone. I am Minister Ginger London. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome. So let's get started. All right. Let me get everything straight here. So let's get started. All right. So thank you so much for joining me on this lovely day. I'm sure it's lovely where you are. I'm praying that it is. I am Minister Ginger London. I am your host of the Loving Yourself 5-Day Challenge. You know, this is the month. February is the month where we show where it's seen as the love month, and we show love to everyone. Well, we buy the Valentine's Day cards, and we say how much we love people. We buy flowers and candy and gifts and all of those things, and we focus all of our attention on loving others, and then we sometimes neglect to include ourselves in that process. And so I wanted to close it out with focusing on you learning to love yourself and being able to appreciate yourself so that you can move forward in your life and do exactly what God has called you to do. So, welcome to the Loving Yourself 5-Day Challenge. So, over the next few days, 5 days or so, we're going to use this challenge to develop some new habits and some new mindset shifts that need to take place so that you can start your self love journey. And if you're someone who is healthy in that area where you're already loving yourself and you know who you're created to be, and you know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you appreciate yourself, that this will be a refresher for you. And this will be an encouragement to continue to go strong in loving yourself. But if this is a struggle for you, this challenge will be a challenge for you. So I want to encourage you to have notebook and pen, as I always do when I do these challenges, to take notes, because the Bible says to write the vision down upon tablets and make it plain, so those that read it can run with it. They can fulfill it for you. So that includes you. So when you go back over and look at the notes, watch the replay, take some more notes, this gives you an opportunity to put the vision in front of you that you want to learn to love yourself more, or to learn to love yourself. And you want this to be a journey that you go through that's going to be beneficial and definitely worthwhile your time. So I'm going to teach you some self-love practices. There are going to be some simple habits that you can do daily in your normal daily routine, so that you can learn to love yourself. And so we're on day 2. Day 1 was just basically a welcome, and welcoming you to the challenge and letting you know what's going to take place in the challenge. So we're into day number 2, and today we're going to be talking about a brain dump. And so, we have our minds filled with a lot of different things, and sometimes we just really need to unload what's in our minds. And so we're talking about loving yourself. And so what's important when you talk about a brain dump related to loving yourself is to really evaluate and take a look at the thoughts that you have about yourself. What are those habits or mindsets that have been ingrained in you that keeps you from loving yourself? And so you want to simply do a stream consciousness. In other words, you're going to think about what's going on in your mind. You're going to journal it out. You're going to write those things out. You don't have to at some point, I guess you did believe them, because if you're not loving yourself, you took them on and incorporated them, or um, internalized them as being true about you when they're not true about you. And so we want to get those out of your mind. So you're going to do a brain dump. So you're going to journal anything that are worries for you, thoughts, negative thoughts that you're having, negative feelings, even if you have plans for a particular day and you don't feel like you're going to be able to carry those plans out, I want you to journal that. I want you to put it under that brain dump, because if you're already thinking that you can't meet your plans for today, or if you're planning something for tomorrow, you're already thinking that this is not going to be possible for me, then that's some debris that's getting in the way of you having healthy thoughts about yourself, so that you can learn to love yourself. So this is going to be a style of journaling where you're going to write down whatever comes to mind. It could be worries, it could be thoughts, it could be feelings, it could be anything. It's anything that keeps your mind wandering and jumping, from stream to stream. One minute I'm thinking about something, one thing, the next minute I'm thinking about B, you know. But you want there to be a consistent flow in your mind of really good, godly, healthy thoughts. First about who you are, then about what you're in the earth to do, and then how you're going to carry that assignment out. If you get those three grounded in the foundation of the core of your being, there's no question you'll get along with other people. There's no question that you're going to reach your goals. There'll be no questions regarding whether or not you are here. If the reason why you're here, if your life has any value to it, you have to get the foundation right. In Psalm 139, it says, God, you know all about me, even the most intricate, delicate, detailed parts of me. The parts that I don't share with other people, the parts that I don't talk about a lot, the parts that I think are negative, or the parts that I think will never work, they're no good. Even those parts, those thoughts that I have, God, you know all about that. The goal is to have your mind transformed, or have your being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's why we need to do a brain dump. You want to get rid of all of those things that are getting in the way of you actually seeing yourself and loving yourself the way that you're supposed to. So today is the brain dump exercise. And so here's what you want to do in the brain dump exercise. So I want you to get out a notebook and a pen when you do this exercise, either right after this stream, or if you're watching the replay, maybe you'll do it right after the replay. But I want you to get, maybe a warm cup of tea, a coffee or something, and really honestly do this and be true to yourself. Right. So you're going to write down any thoughts or feelings you have about yourself. So don't try to force um, loving and positive emotions you have for yourself unless you genuinely feel them, right? So if you don't love yourself the way you should, you don't have any positive thoughts about yourself, don't make them up. Honestly put down what you're thinking in your mind right now about yourself. And then we'll deal with them later, but right now you want to get them out of your mind and onto paper so that you can begin to release your mind of these things and make room for the renewing and the transformation that you want to occur. I want you to be really honest and really open with yourself. The worst kind of deception there is self-deception, and that's because you're the only person deceiving you, right? So you don't want to deceive yourself, or you don't want to continue in self-deception. You want to be open, and you want to be genuine, and you want to be honest uh, with yourself. So you're going to write your thoughts down today, and any feelings that you have about yourself. So I'm going to give you some journaling prompts that kind of help you get started in releasing those thoughts out of your mind and to do your brain dump. So you may want to ask yourself this question. Do you want to start a love yourself journey? And if you do, why? So start with that before you dump everything out. Well, maybe you're going to say, hey, yes, I want to start a my love yourself journey. And the reason I want to start it is because I'm not loving myself. I don't have good feelings about myself. I don't have good thoughts about myself. When I speak about myself to others, I'm always saying negative things about myself. I don't like the way that I look. I always speak down about my certain physical qualities that I have. So do you want to start a love yourself journey, and why? Here's another one. What are you struggling with? Right? Are you struggling with your image? Are you struggling with whether or not you feel capable? If you're educated enough, if you're smart enough, what are you struggling with? Maybe there's a disability and you haven't come to terms with it yet. And so it's a struggle in your life because you're believing negative about it. So you automatically think that other people look at you and think negatively about you concerning your disability or whatever it may be. So what are you struggling with? Right? Another one. Do you feel like you can't love yourself sincerely? That's a big one. Do you feel like you cannot or you can't love yourself sincerely? That is real important because if you feel like you can't love yourself sincerely, then there may be some other issues that need to be dealt with that once this challenge is over, you're going to need some help with actually dealing with those issues because they're getting in the way of you loving yourself sincerely. Is your body image an issue for you? Right? You look in the mirror, you find all these things negative about your body image. And sometimes when people do that, they never think about uh, is that they can change that body image. Maybe I need to go on a diet. Maybe I need to exercise. Maybe, hey, if I have some kind of maybe a discoloration or some kind of mark in my face, they're looking in the mirror and they see the mark, but they never think, hey, I can go and buy something that will conceal that when I go out where people won't see it as much. They look in the mirror and all they see is the negative things that's going on in their image. All right. Another one, do you feel like you can't accomplish your goals? Right. Hey, I have this goal, but I don't think I have what it takes to reach the goal. I'm not smart enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I don't know enough about what I want to do. I don't know enough about the goal I want to accomplish. Never taking into consideration that you can learn what you need to learn to accomplish the goal. Right. So do you feel like you can't accomplish the goal? Right. And so these are some of the journaling prompts that you can get started with, so that you can begin this love yourself journey. Use the next course of the 5-day journey to help you get started with that. We're going to close out this month strong, where you can start to believe that you can love yourself and that you're valuable and that you're worth being loved, and you're worth not only being loved by others, but you're also worth loving yourself. It's important that you love yourself. The scriptures say, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You can't even love someone else unless you love yourself. You can pretend, but you won't really genuinely love someone else until you first learn to love yourself. And that's very important, because we see ourselves every day. I don't see my best friend every day. I don't talk to her every day, but I see myself every day. You see yourself every day, right? You're with yourself every day. So it's important that you learn to love yourself, because that's what's going to be important in you accomplishing any goals or doing anything in life that you will identify as being valuable and impactful in the earth. And so if you want to do greater works, you first have to do the greatest thing first, and that is love yourself, right? And that's not being conceited. It's not being stuck up. It's not being, bougie, or whatever kind of term you want to use. It's strictly about learning who you are, and to genuinely and authentically identify who you are and appreciate who God has created you to be. Identify your gifts, your talents and abilities, everything that is genuine about you. And even if there are some things that need to be corrected or sharpened or fine-tuned a little bit, that's okay. As long as I know in the core of my being, I am learning to love myself. Until I get to that place, I won't reach out to love anyone else. I'm going to continue to develop the love for myself that I need to be able to reach out to others, to accomplish greater works in the earth, and to make an impact in the earth. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for day 2 on the Gotta Get Myself Loving Yourself 5-day challenge. Today was on brain dump. Don't forget, release those thoughts and those worries out of your mind that's blocking you. I call it debris from getting in the way of you loving yourself. Take care, everybody. Have an awesome kind of day. God bless you.